Well, good morning from Long Itchington, which is now the start of day 3, and today I walk all the way through to Leamington Spa and Warwick. Half the walk is rural today and the other half is a little bit more urban, so it's going to be a little bit different today, I think. The weather so far is brilliant, which is great because the last 2 days it's poured down, so I expect some mud again, and I'm just about to set off now, so I'll talk to you in a bit. Well, that was my first meeting with cows. You can't really see, but there's a farm back there, and the gate that lets into this field, well, it was 4 deep with cows. So even if I was inclined to, I wouldn't have been able to get over there, and I wasn't about to push them out the way. So I took a detour and climbed around the back of an outbuilding and kind of plopped into the field a bit further down, just by those black cows in front of us. Interesting start. I'm not sure if that's still the National Lift Tower over there. Seems to be too close, but if it is, Northampton's not that far away still. Haven't progressed as far as I thought. I'm ready for cows today. I've got my cow stick. Come on then, come on, have some. This is fun. It's the most tangled wild bit I've been through yet. I'm supposed to be a waymark over there somewhere to let into the woods, but I have a feeling I'm going to struggle to find it. It's really quite beautiful. There's so much wildlife here. There's a damselfly that's just gone by. I've seen pheasants and a dragonfly, but right now I'd like to see that marker. I found it. Wasn't that difficult in the end. Interesting going through that. I've got nettle rash all over my legs now. Still, bit of woodland coming up next. Blimey, this is overgrown. The nettles here are about 4 or 5 foot tall. I've been stung to buggery. There's supposed to be a path through here, but I'm just kind of making my own really. It's woodland walking gym, but not as we know it. Ow. Well, that's the end of the woodland bit, and it was very pretty, I suppose, but crikey, it's overgrown. This whole section of the walk has a really neglected, wild feel to it, which I quite like, but be warned, if you walk through the woods at this time of the year, you're going to get stung. So I'm going to have to stop for 5 minutes and put my anti-stingy bitey stuff on out of my bat utility belt. Well, I've emerged from the woods, the very overgrown nettly woods, and I'm now crossing a field of stuff which I think is wheat type stuff, and apart from the nettle stings, it's a lovely day and it's been a good walk so far. It's quite amusing with those cows. They weren't going to move, but looking around me now, it all looks like it's turned to arable farming. Now, arable's good because it's easy to cross and there are no animals at all apart from me. So I'm hoping I can make a bit of headway now, because I think I've made slow progress so far with one thing and another. And I'll stop at the end of the field here and get my bearings, and hopefully I'll speak to you in a bit. Oh, look at this. A beautiful day and a good solid road to walk along, surrounded by stunning scenery. Okay, could be worse, couldn't it? I have been through some pretty wild stuff today, and a couple of fields of wheat, which I got lost in one of them, but really it's been great so far. And I think I've got about a mile of this. Good stuff. I'm a bit annoyed with myself now. At some point I must have stopped, I don't know, take something out of my rucksack, maybe do some filming, but I've left my walking pole somewhere. It's been with me for miles. I'm not going back for it, but it's just a bit irritating when you do things like that. Oh well. Really annoyed at losing that pole. It's stupid, isn't it? It's only a pole, but you know, it's been, I don't, 200-300 miles walking with me. You get emotionally attached to these things. So I've got to get another one now. There might be a go outdoors or some such place in Leamington, but it's a Sunday, so it's probably going to be shut. So I don't know. My brother will be laughing at this because he usually leaves things behind on walks and I never do. There's always a first for everything, isn't there? That used to be a railway once upon a time, and I'm actually standing on an old bridge that used to cross that railway. It's quite high up. I would estimate that down there is a drop of getting on for 80 foot. It's funny to think that used to be a railway. Look how overgrown it is now. It's turned back to a jungle, hasn't it? It's a good view from up here though. Excuse the sniffing, by the way, I do have hay fever again today. I do believe it's got a little bit cloudier, he says, apropos of nothing. See this stretch of road? Busy and quite dangerous. Guidebook says 100 yards down on the left hand side, or right as we look at it, there's a stile. And I've been up and down the road 3 times now, and I can categorically tell you there is no stile. So I don't know, do I tell them that their directions are wrong? I'm pretty sure they are, because I've risked my neck 3 times walking up and down this bit of road. I'm not doing it again. I'll have to find another way into Huntington. Oh, here's a stile, and it is on the left, but it's not on the road that they seem to be indicating on the guidebook, which is perhaps just me misreading it, or more likely they're badly wording it. Anyway, I'm off the roads now. Well, I've just found a nice spot by the White Lion pub there. I've just come through a village called Old Huntington. That's right, Old Huntington. And this is the River Lem, which here is a quiet little place, but I'll be seeing it later as it winds its way through Leamington Spa. It'll look a little bit different then, I should think. I walked across many fields today. It's a feature of this route. Perhaps when it's all completed, I'll count the number of fields I've crossed, just so that I can put a number to all this effort. Just so that I can say, did you know that I walked across 548 fields on the Millennium Way? With the inevitable response of, why? A good question. I suppose you either get this long distance walking malarkey or you don't. I'm nearly halfway through this route now, so there's only another 262 fields left to cross, give or take. once again the guidebook has been completely wayward. It's been alright the last 2 days I've done the walk, but today's walk seems to have been written by somebody completely different with no sense of direction. I'm now in the middle of a very wild boundary to a field. I'm not even sure if I'm on the right track. There is no footpath, as you can see, it's just waist high grass. But I'll have a look at View Ranger in a minute and see if I am right. If I were to follow the directions as they're written in the book, I'd have ended up in the farmyard, and that was definitely wrong. So I'm a little bit peeved, shall we say, at the person who wrote today's instructions. I would suggest, sir, that you come out and do the route yourself. Well, all the signposts have disappeared, but I think I'm on the right track. I'm going through some woodland called South Cubbington Woods, which isn't signposted and is muddy, so I'm missing my pole now, but I think I'm still on the right track. I want to get the other side of this, then I might think about lunch. It's very quiet, apart from the birds and me, and dark. Well, I've just stopped for lunch outside of the village of Covington, which is over there, and that'll be the start of the more built up bit of the walk. So I thought I'd enjoy the peace and quiet while I can. After Covington I go through Leamington, and after Leamington I go through Warwick, so it's all, you know, it's all towns and back streets. And so far so good. It's been a nice day. Cloudy now, it was better this morning, and I've just completed what I'd call the rural bit of the walk before doing the suburban bit of the walk. Probably about halfway through, so another 6 miles to go, maybe a bit less. I just stopped for a really nice pint in Covington at a place called the King's Head. Stretched my legs a bit, and Covington's really the start of the more urban-y bit of the walk, if you like. Although I'm back out in the sticks at the moment. You can see over there, look. That's the outskirts of Leamington Spa. Not the prettiest part, I have to admit. And from then on, it's through Leamington, Warwick, and really back to the car without seeing any more fields. On the plus side, there'll be no cows, but obviously it's a bit busier than I've been used to the last few days. And of course, I don't really like walking through built-up places looking like that, but I've got no choice really. I could take the bottom bits off because they're like shorts, but no, I don't think I'll do that either. I'll just look like a tramp. At least I won't get mugged.
I like Leamington Spa. I like the way its parks are all joined together end to end, so you can walk right across the town using all its green spaces. This is Jeffson Gardens, a park of Victorian vintage, with its fountains and its monuments to the great and good of the borough. Today it was a busy place, full of Leamingtonians enjoying the sunshine, and I wandered along the riverbank and the flower beds, blissfully unaware that I was heading off route. More on that later.
That's the Royal Pump Rooms there, and I used to work here a year or two back. We'll be going past the offices in a bit, so I'll tell you when I get there. That's where I used to work. That's my office window. It's the back of the building. The front is a bit grander. It's got big columns and all that Regency doodah stuff that's so common in Leamington. But yeah, I used to work right there. Can't say I enjoyed it much. I've just made a monumental cock up. I thought, I know Leamington, I know this route, I've been here before, I've worked in Leamington, I know where I'm going. So I did. Took my own route, or which I thought was the own route, my route rather, and I was completely wrong. I ended up following the Centenary Way again, and I was in completely the wrong direction. So I've cost myself, I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe a mile or so of extra walking, and I just should have read the instructions really, shouldn't I? It's my own fault. Teach me for being cocky. Well, despite the detour, at least I'm on the right route again now. I'm on the, I'm on Aikenell. Again, I don't know which one. I'll have to tell you later. But this is 2 miles, and then I come off at Warwick, and I hope I just walk up the road to my car. But the trouble is, if I've done the wrong thing and guessed incorrectly, I may end up miles away from my car, and I'll have no real idea of where it is. So I've got that to face yet. Let's hope I'm lucky and I've picked the right route to park my car on. It's just been that sort of a day.